Hi, everyone. We're back here live at KubeCon. It is day 2. Well, it depends how you count because KubeCon's funny because we have like this day 0, all of the satellite conferences, but we don't really, that's a 0. Yesterday was day 1. Today, therefore, is day 2, though some of us have been here 3 days.
Yes.
It's fuzzy math. Anyway, though, we're still live here. My next 2 guests are with Intuit. And I know what you're saying. Intuit, Cloud Native Computing Foundation, what are they doing here? Well, I'm going to let them explain it, but there's a really good story behind it. Let me introduce you to them. We have Lisa Marie, not Presley, Lisa Marie Namphy, who, if you've watched our previous KubeCon coverages, it's not her first time here. And then we have Mr. Patel, and I'm blanking your first name. Jimil Patel, also from Intuit here. And guys, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's great to be back. It's always good to see you.
Actually, always good to see you as well. So I kind of opened the door with the question, Intuit, what are you doing here?
Yeah, well, that first day of the conference that you talk about, nothing zero about it. We actually started one of the colos. It's the Argo Con, because as you know, Intuit is the creator of the Argo Project and donated it to the CNCF. Started that conference with tons of help from the Acuity and CodeFresh and Red Hat folks, and now it's one of the most popular co-located events. Octopus Deploy now, yes, that's true. That's true. So yeah, and those. We are also incredibly active in the Argo community, and ArgoCon is one of the most popular co-located events. It was packed on the first day.
Well, Argo CD, I believe, is now the number 3 project in CNCF, right behind Cube itself, and then Hotel over here.
Yeah, and there was a stat at ArgoCon, 2/3 of all Kubernetes users have Argo CD installed.
They just republished, actually, as of yesterday, Dan just talked about it, 97% are using Argo. It was a crazy stat, which almost says that more people are using Argo than Kubernetes. So that math we need to sort out. But people are using Argo. People love Argo, particularly Argo CD. So yeah, no, it's great. It was very popular. But to your question, open source is, we're on the platform team.
Yes.
And open source is pretty core to a lot of the work we're doing. And we don't just, consume open source, we also do build and contribute back. Things like the Argo Project, the Numa Proj, which is our Kubernetes native event stream platform. And all of this stuff we consume, I would say more than 100 open source projects or contribute to. So, we've built a little open source program office. We show up at events like this. And I just had a conversation with someone who walks through our booth, about the 100th conversation I've had, when they're like, well, what is Intuit doing here? I didn't think of Intuit as a technology company, and I definitely didn't understand how important you were to open source and vice versa. And we've won End User of the Year award twice from the CNCF here at KubeCon, twice. So yeah, we're very proud of the work we do in open source.
So I, of course, knew this before we started the conversation today. But when you think about it, one of the things that makes the CNCF successful is the mix. It's not all technology vendors. It's not all, and I don't mean this in a bad way, geeky, dev or ops or,
A lot of end users.
But it's also end user organizations that, quite frankly, have the resources to dedicate people and time and money to open source projects. And instead of kind of keeping it for themselves, which is kind of the old way of doing it, become good community members here because they're vital to the mix, right? At the end of the day, you're not here to sell your open source software. You contribute it. Because there are other, for instance, I was interviewing the folks at Broadcom VMware earlier today. They're the 3rd largest contributor to code to Kubernetes. And a lot of people don't think that because they think Kubernetes, hypervisor, they're separate. But no, they're the third largest contributor to code there. Now, and I commend them for that. But let's face it, they're feathering their own nest, right? You know what I mean? And one can say that even if they're not doing it for that being the only reason, one can still say, well, but they're selling software, right?
Right.
Intuit, different thing. You're doing it because it's making what you guys do better, but you want everyone else to be able to have access to that as well, because you're not
And to be able to
selling
contribute to it.
And well,
Help
that
make
helps.
it better. Yeah.
Well, it's like paying it forward, right? When you contributed to the community, hopefully others follow, and it's all that karma wheel that goes round and round, right?
And paying it forward also has its dividends. Like for Argo Project, Red Hat is now contributing as well, and they've created cool features. There's an MCP server introduced, and now we are also leveraging from the community. So like if we were to do all this ourselves, it's all our resources, versus now we are getting back from the community. So the dividends come in, it just takes some time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It does. And that's karma, right? It goes round and round, but it does pay off.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, though, I want to shift. I'm shifting. No. But AI,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, everyone, well, not just this time. For the last 2-3 years, we all lead with AI. And I think just as Kubernetes itself is maturing a little bit, I'm not saying AI is mature. We still have a long way to go. But we are starting to see definitive patterns in how we use AI, where we use AI, who is using AI. Let's talk a little bit about Intuit and AI.
Absolutely. Jamil.
Yeah.
has a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah, one of the things like our, mission, in our mission statement, we have 3 statements. We have less work or no work, more money, and high confidence. Like we have these 3 statements. And as we think about AI, like it helps you make more money, it helps you do less work, and it gives you more confidence. And it's very critical to our consumer products that they have AI in them, and that lets our consumers get all of these things. Now, when it translates to like in engineering organizations, there's like, we think about it in 3 areas. Since we are all like in the platform engineering space, there's one is like, how can AI make platform engineers more productive and make infrastructure awesome? The second area is how can it help general application developers be faster? So how do developers go faster with all the coding tools and the tools they have? And the third one is more around like how are we using AI where we are giving developers ways to build AI applications for customers, because there are new tools for building AI, and our developers need to know how to use these tools and how to get faster from an app that did not have AI to now having AI in that app. So for all these 3 areas, we are investing heavily, and maybe I can give you some examples for each
I
of the
was
areas.
going to ask you to,
Yeah.
so go ahead.
So for the platform engineering side, this is where like Kubernetes is hard. That's why platform engineers are paid so much. Now with AI coming into the space, they are actually going to get more and more productive. For Argo CD, for example, we added Argo CD Assist. And that is when people used to ping our platform engineers and say like, what is wrong with my deployment? Now AI can just build a summary first, and if the summary doesn't work for them, they can still ping them. There is build failure analysis, where every time a build fails for a developer who doesn't know what's going on behind the scenes, they get a summary of like what is failing. And sometimes there's also remediation, where it tries to remediate the fact and developers don't even know what is happening. We call that done for you experiences, where things are done for you and you don't even have to worry about things. So that's on the like how AI is helping platform engineers.
Let me stop you right there on this platform engineering thing. So, we started a new site since last year when I interviewed you. Hopefully it's on there, platformengineering.com. If you see on the edge, right? Platformengineering.com, because platform engineering, I think, has emerged as its own discipline. Yes, it's closely tied into DevOps. Yes, it's closely tied into cloud native, but it's its own thing. Um, when we look at platform engineering, though, I think 2 years ago, 3 years ago, if I asked someone who claimed to be a platform engineer, what are you doing? Kubernetes is hard, and we're going to make Kubernetes
Easy.
not easy. I don't think it ever gets easy, but manageable.
Yeah.
But I think if you ask most platform engineers today what the mission is, they'll tell you IDP, internal development platform, right? Because that seems to be where the action is in platform engineering, and also a lot of where the AI is going. I'm wondering what you're seeing as a real life platform guy at Intuit.
Yeah, so Intuit got lucky. We invested in an IDP way early before Backstage came out. Every third person I talked to at KubeCon, they're like Backstage, 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 because the IDPs serve as a web layer to all their abstractions. So making Kubernetes easy is through abstractions. And where do you put them? You can't put them on Kubernetes itself because then you would have to learn that. So instead, they have an abstraction on top of that, which is IDPs. Most IDPs are going to have an AI assistant moving forward, and that's going to be your platform engineering team's first line of defense. And if that AI is not able to answer or do things for your general developer, that's when you go to the platform engineers. Versus today, we live in a world where like the first choice might be platform engineers. So then I think, IDP and AI together, like in one platform, is going to be your first line of platform engineering defense. And you'll see more and more vendors come out. You'll see the Kubernetes ecosystem getting well integrated into it. Right now, it has all the popular projects, but you'll see a lot more projects going into it because once you have an IDP, you have to integrate Jira, you have to integrate GitHub, you want to integrate Argo, and the list never ends.
No,
So it's an integration.
But I think we learned something from like APIs, right? Which is you don't want to do a one-off for every single one of these projects or every single one of these products that you want to plug into your IDP. I think with agentic AI, we have the ability with, let's say, an MCP server to not repeat the mistakes and sins of the past, right? We could do that very quickly. Is that something Intuit is looking at?
Yeah, and that's where, like, if you look, I would say 5 years ahead, I would also say, like, the IDP experience might also shift left. We're thinking about shifting left, and a lot of these experiences are happening within the IDE itself. So when you are developing, you also have a chat agent, a chat window with MCPs enabled. So why wait until deploy and then asking the questions? Like you're coding, you're asking the questions in the side, like why will this build pass? And your MCP, like your IDE, then call the AI MCP, try to run it in your cluster or tell you information about your clusters. And before you even push the code out, you will know like what's wrong with your code. So there's a shift left happening where you want to alert the developers before they push it to a stage where they need support. Like things need to be fixed right when they're working on it. And I'm hoping that our tool chains also support that. So you have that chat window that provides you alerts and errors early on. Then you deploy, then your IDP has a chat window that you have alerts and whatnot. And then you have your operations dashboards and those things, those also have those. So like you will have a lot of the companies their jobs are to unify these assistants because there's like almost too many these days and they don't talk to each other. So you have to ask the same question here, here, and here and choose the best answer based on which one's the most mature. So, that's kind of what I've seen happening as well.
I get it.
I was going to make some joke about like, okay, everybody stop building dev portals and just, focus on IDPs. But I bet you next year when we're having this conversation, that will probably be a reality or much closer to.
We'll see.
Yeah.
You know what? This you've said it now. It's out in the universe.
Exactly. Don't
So
even
we'll come back and get it. So that's AI and developer platforms. But there were two other AI use cases for Intuit here.
Yeah, so the other one, which, in the last 3 to 4 years, we have seen 5 years actually, we have seen a 12x increase in developer velocity. And the reason being all of the AI coding tools, there's a boom of that. Uh, right now, the market's changing so rapidly. Every 3 months, there is a vendor. There is Cursor, Augment Code, Gemini, Codex, more to come. And what we adopted early on as a strategy is not to choose one option, but to give developers flexibility. But in addition to the tool, we are providing Intuit code as context to all of these capabilities. So when developers ask like, how do I write a web plugin? It doesn't tell you just how to write a generic web plugin. It will tell you how to write an Intuit web plugin. And that has been like very crucial to our journey, where when our developers ask for help, it has all the intuitisms baked into it to begin with. So from a code generation perspective, like I think I'd advise everyone on the same journey to like not focus on the tools, because the tool market is going to change. Acquisitions are going to happen. ChatGPT and the other vendors will release, or OpenAI will release new tools, and your developers are always going to say this is the coolest or that is the coolest, and you can't in a real world support all of them. So I'd see this market will evolve, and ultimately you'll see clear winners. But right now you can focus on making your AI such that it doesn't give generic answers, but it gives like your company specific answers as much as possible.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something really important, customers. How's AI helping you with customers?
So in the customer landscape, like there's immense opportunities. So on the QuickBooks land, like we have certain agents that help people get paid 5 days faster, and that's like very much aligned to our mission of more money. Who doesn't want to get paid faster? It's like I do, So there are things that would reconcile your transactions on QuickBooks faster, and that enables business owners to also like run their accounting faster. So that could mean vendors are getting paid faster, employees are getting paid faster. So that's on the business side. On the TurboTax side, like if you filed taxes with TurboTax last year, it will do Gen AI summary, and it will kind of make you feel more confident that because TurboTax is a tool and you file your taxes yourself, you put the documentation. So sometimes you're doubting yourself, like, did I put everything in the right way? But now AI is going to say, hey, you put this document, but you didn't support it with this other document. That's usually the case. So maybe you're missing to upload your gains on the stock sell or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that's going to make you more confident in terms of being able to confidently say, I filed my taxes right, or I did my accounting right. Or with MailChimp, it's like email marketing. Everyone wants help from AI to write emails. It's in there now. It also tells you what is the best time that this person's likely going to open this email. And that is intelligence, where before it was like send an email at 9 a.m. That was the norm.
Right.
Now it's like send an email to the people when they want it and when they're most likely to open and read this email. And that is a game changer
Sure is.
and that kind of capability in the hands of a small business owner. Like if you're a big company, yes, you have those capabilities, but a small business owner being able to personalize up to that extent is magical.
To stay on top of all the regulations and all the rules. And, imagine if somebody suggested, hey, Alan, like you're leaving money on the table because you didn't write off all these things, but you can write those off. That's legal.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, ooh, let's do that then. More money for you.
Oh, I love paying more taxes.
Especially unnecessarily.
Excellent stuff. So, it's funny. I was talking to people earlier. Last year, we were talking a lot about AI. This year, I haven't heard as much, though it's kind of built in now. And but we're still just scratching the surface, right? There's so much more that's going to happen here. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And I'm also interested to see how it plays out from an open source perspective. How much of this winds up on that side by the project pavilions, right? Versus inside of commercial products only. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and the CNCF is working hard. We, as you know, I'm a CNCF ambassador and have been for many years. Over 10 now, I guess I just saw my picture on a slide saying something about 10 years of contributions. So wow, but we do talk to them a lot, and we just had a meeting with them a couple weeks ago. Really asking that question, like, what's your plan with AI? And we had a bunch of projects that we think would be great to be in the CNCF, and then they told us about some stuff we didn't even know about. So the conversations are happening. They are talking to the end users, and they're also trying to get the OSIs get publishing more and more standards all the time, which is really good and really helpful. Agentic is a very big conversation in Kubernetes right now, so that's a hot topic.
Yes.
So we're excited. We're excited to see where it's going.
Yeah, and
It's-
this morning they announced the AI Bricks project. They're working on K-Agent, the Envoy, like AI gateway with Tetrate and Solo. Those are all like exciting projects. And I don't think AI and Kubernetes are like so separate today, because people are already running a lot of AI workloads on Kubernetes. There's a lot of libraries out there. Now it's just like, it's the same way where the coding agents are like, which ones are gonna be here to stay, and which ones are gonna be just like noise in the space. So we should find out, and this is a great place to know and feel from all the audiences here.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Well, listen, we're probably overtime, to tell you the truth. I want to thank you both for coming here on TechStrong TV. You have an invitation in next year, but let's not wait till next year
Exactly.
to catch up.
Thank you. Always
on
love
you.
being here. Okay.
right.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Intuit, open source dynamos here at KubeCon. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a minute.